This Promnicast can be found everywhere. Subscribe via iTunes, Stitcher, YouTube, and more. Making the Trade is a Stripe marketing digital experience. Leaders in strategy, video production, and content. Visit stripemarketing.com for more. Hello and welcome to Making the Trade. My name is Clint Bowers, and today with us from Portland, Oregon, we have Ryan Carson, CEO and co-founder of Treehouse. All right, Ryan, question number one. When and how did you decide to become an entrepreneur?
So I was, a normal employee for the first part of my career, and I think what happened is this switch turned in my mind, and basically we did this 48-hour marathon at work because we were on deadline, and I literally had to sleep under my desk, and I was like delirious at the end, and I think that kind of broke my back. I just realized, wait a minute, I'm doing something that I'm not really passionate about. I was basically building websites for other people. I was at a design company, and I was the developer, and we were working for clients that I didn't really care about. It was things like tobacco companies even, or car companies, and I just thought, why am I killing myself for this? And not only that, my bosses, we had, I think it was like 2 or 3 directors, they would show up at work with crazy expensive cars. So I remember literally someone showed up with a Ford GT, which is a $250,000 car. And I just, something kind of clicked. I was like, wait a minute, so I'm doing something I'm not passionate about, and I'm making other people wildly wealthy. Like, this just doesn't seem like a good deal. So naively, I thought, it can't be that hard to run a company. So I quit, and I started my first company.
Question number 2. When did you realize that being an entrepreneur really meant setting your own course?
It was probably about 8 months into my first company, and my first company was me, at a computer in my attic, and I was working a lot, and working, 7 days a week, I had my laptop on my lap, when my wife and I were watching TV, and she kind of turned to me and said, I thought that running your own company meant that you had more time and that you could control your life. So why are you working more and getting paid less? And I think that really struck a chord with me, and I thought, yeah, wait a minute, what is going on here? I seem to be acting like a victim. I'm not controlling my life. And this is probably a theme that you see with all the entrepreneurs that you interview, that every single one of us wants to create a universe that we live in, and we make the rules up, and that's how it works. And I realized, wow, she's right. This is crazy. And she said, why don't we just work less? No one says that we have to work, even 5 days a week. Why don't we try working 4? And I thought, that's insane. Like, no, that is never going to work. And it stressed me out that she even said that, because I thought, I have too much work right now, and you're saying I have one less day to do it? This is total craziness. So, but then I thought, wait a minute, she's right. Yeah. So who says that we have to work 5 days a week? And I think all of a sudden, like, the scales fell off my eyes, and I realized, whoa, wait a minute, like, I can create almost reality, if I can make it work. So that was the moment when I realized, whoa, this entrepreneur thing is pretty cool.
Question number 3. When were you most tested as an entrepreneur?
So the first wall of bricks that I hit that was very painful was when my first business failed. So I quit my job, started my own company in 2004, and then in 2005, 12 months later, I shut down the business and started a new one. And what happened is I created a product that I completely mispriced. So it was a web application that you paid monthly for, but it was for design studios to send files to their clients, and I just priced it really high. And I was so inexperienced that I didn't realize that, if it's above a certain threshold, I will need a sales force to sell it. And I thought, oh, people are just going to sign up for this. And, it was like $500 a month. And so I just, slogged my guts out for a year trying to sell it. And, I even had like a little thermometer on the wall that would fill up, for each customer I sold to, there'd be one more. And, I tried all these ways to gamify it for myself. And in the end, it just didn't work. And I think the moment that I realized it wasn't going to work was very painful.
Question number 4. Looking back at when it all began, what would you tell the 20-year-old you?
Wow. So what would I tell the 20-year-old Ryan Carson? I think I would reiterate that nobody knows what they're doing. And all the success that you see of very famous entrepreneurs was a mix of luck, which was timing, and hustle. That there really wasn't any prescription for success. That would be the primary thing I would tell myself. And it's hard to listen to that advice, but because you still feel afraid, like a lot of people say, the difference between courageous people and cowards is that they feel the same, they just act differently. So I think I would try to reiterate that fact that it appears that people, very successful people like Jeff Bezos or Mark Zuckerberg or Steve Jobs or even people like Barack Obama, who became president, that they knew what they were doing and it was a calculated plan to get there. But the truth is that it's usually a series of lucky circumstances, coupled with very hard work.
And finally, Ryan, what's next for you and Treehouse?
So our next mountain, which we are kind of at base camp on, is really putting people in jobs. So the reason why up until now in human history people haven't been able to get high-paying jobs without a degree is because the whole paradigm is shifting. So now it's possible, but no one knows how to do it at scale. So online affordably, right? When you put all those things together. So our summit is saying we can, at scale, take someone from zero to job ready with no experience and then put them in a paying job. That then, they scale, they start at 45K and then they scale to 100K a year. So I think that's our current, Everest. And it's exciting. I can tell we just have years of work. It's actually exciting to me that I feel like I want to be doing Treehouse for 10 or 20 years. So this is just kind of the first step on this really a lifelong mission that will never end.
All right, well, that's it for us. I'm Clint Bowers with Making the Trade, and what happens next is up to you. We'll see you next time. For more information on Treehouse, visit www.teamtreehouse.com. Making the Trade is a Stripe Marketing digital experience. Visit stripemarketing.com for more. This series is produced and distributed by the VOLSTA Media Network. Be sure to check out other great shows, episodes, and more at VOLSTA.com.